What's up, fellow polymaths? In this video of the Java Fundamentals tutorial, we'll be going over overloading methods. So with overloading methods, in Java, method overloading is to have multiple methods that can have the same name as long as the number and the type of parameters are different. When overloading a method, you can't just change the return type of the method. The parameters, data type, and the number of parameters also have to be different. Instead of defining methods that should do the same thing, you can instead overload the method. So here are some quick examples of what overloading method is like. So in this case, we have four methods that have the same method name but different return types. So here we have an integer, and then that passes in an integer parameter, a float that passes in a float parameter. And by the way, the parameters don't have to match the return type. A double that passes in two double parameters, and a string return type that passes in an integer and a string. So here in the code, we're going to create three methods of the same method name, but different return types. So here I've created three methods. They all have the same method name, but different return types. They also have two parameters in each method. So what I'm going to do is call these three methods from the main class and then pass in the two parameters. Since I didn't make these methods as static, we're going to create an object so that we can call these methods. So now I've called these three methods, and now I'm going to run this. So now that I input the code to call these three methods, we're going to run this. So as we can see here, we get our results that are returned. So first, the integer method for the add two numbers, it just adds the two parameters that we passed in, 10 and 20, which is 30. Then the double method, we passed in the two parameters, 10.0 and 20, which is 30. And notice how the compiler was able to interpret that once we put in a 10.0, that interpreted it as a double, which converted the method into a double. Otherwise, if we had removed this .0, then it would have interpreted it as an integer. And we have our string method right here, 10 and 20 as strings that are passed in. And then we get the result 10 and 20. Remember, strings, when added together, are concatenated. So the compiler treats this not as 10 plus 20, but 10 and 20 added together, which is why we get this 1020. But that's pretty much what overloading methods is. Now you're pretty much a pro at overloading. So here's an assignment for overloading methods. Number one, write two methods with the same name that takes in two parameters, one with an integer return type and one with a double return type. This method will return the multiplication of the parameters. Number two, do the same as above, but this time use 5 parameters. Number three, write two methods with the same name that returns a string value. One method will only take in the first name, while the other method takes in both the first name and the last name of its parameters. If this video was of any value to you, then please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.